The Block. It's long been considered an urban heartland for Sydney's Indigenous population. In the past it was feared by many, but today it's the city's most valuable vacant lot. Aboriginal people migrated to Redfern in great numbers in the 20s, lured by vast employment opportunities. Irene Doutney is a Greens councillor and long-term resident of Redfern.
In the 70s, all the radical Aboriginal rights groups all came out of Redfern. You know, the legal service, the medical service, the Black Panthers, the whole mob, you know, all came out of the block.
But eventually the block became ravaged by poverty, substance abuse, violence and heavy-handed policing. But now, the inevitable gentrification of Redfern, a suburb just 3 kilometres south of Sydney CBD, is occurring at a rapid rate, and unsurprisingly the property market's booming. After a grant from the Whitlam government, the Aboriginal Housing Company, led by Mickey Mundine, purchased the block in 1973, and for over 3 decades they've been planning a redevelopment. Originally the land was meant for Aboriginal housing only, but the AHC's latest proposal, the Multimedia Project, has veered largely towards commercial and retail space.
Now, 2009 we got the concept approval for Multimedia Project, 62, like I said, 62 all Aboriginal housing on the land, where it's between Lewis and Everleigh, Vine and Caroline, the original block. We also have student accommodation, 154, childcare for 60 placements, commercial, retail, a new gymnasium, and a gallery.
Finally put an end to the 40-year struggle in creating a sustainable, social, urban environmental development.
Many are sceptical, however, that the affordable housing will ever be built. They think the Aboriginal Housing Company is putting profit before community.
To happen here, we're not going to have student accommodation and car parks and yuppie flats and all that sort of stuff.
The Aboriginal Tent Embassy, led by Wiradjuri elder Jenny Munro, have been occupying the block since last May, delaying the $70 million project.
I know it's a developer's dream. I mean, I'm sure they're frothing at the mouth when they look at the vacant block now and think, what can we do with it, with all the other development going on around Redfern. So the fact that the housing company has succumbed to that siren call is really very disappointing for all of us, that they have sold us out.
First it was us putting profit before, community, and we want low-cost housing for Aboriginal people. We are providing, that is what our mandate is.
In February, the housing company gave protesters 72 hours to vacate the block, but to no avail.
We are a peaceful demonstration, but if we're going to get this continued intimidation from paid muscle from the housing company, we will react and react appropriately.
I'm not going to bother about it. I'm not going to bother and go down to their level. If they want to stay, let them stay. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, this is wrong, mate.
A stalemate now exists between the Aboriginal Housing Company and the Aboriginal Tent Embassy.
The development that
Councillor Doutney thinks Mickey Mundine and Jenny Munro must arrange to talk if there's going to be any preservation of the block's Aboriginal heritage, but it's not going to be easy.
They're two of the most difficult people in Redfern, Mickey and Jenny.
Last year, Redfern's median house price surpassed $1 million.
It's sitting on a huge parcel of incredibly, expensive land, and I would hate to see it develop the way that the Tent Embassy people feel it's going to develop.
At its peak, Redfern's Indigenous community totalled 33,000, but today it is less than 2%. The few that are left will continue to stand their ground, but Mundine has the law on his side.
Vicky will have to ring the police and have us removed as trespassers.
It's got to be used for the benefit of Aboriginal people and not for the benefit of the Aboriginal Housing Company.
We're waiting to put our hard hats on, our boots, and the rest will be history.
It remains to be seen whether Redfern's Indigenous community can preserve their once thriving heartland.